Hey, I saw your ad here to pick up an application to be a content creator. All right, which position? We've got YouTuber, live streamer, TikToker. I've been told I should do all of them. Oh, we've got a big timer. Fill this out. Don't skip any. Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Owned.tv, for, as you all know, being the one-stop shop for all your stream aesthetic needs, whether it's overlays, alerts, panels, banners, anything you need. And as many of you know, one of my favorite parts about it is that they are all modular. So if you and all your friends pick up this alpha gaming design that you're looking at, which we helped them make, and I think it turned out pretty great, none of you guys are gonna have the exact same overlay because you can all pick and choose the different pieces that you like about it. So if you'd like to make the smart move like many from the community have done, feel free to use the link in the description below to pick up your own overlay, which by the way, that link does help the channel, so thank you. And if you'd like 40%, wait, I think it's 50%. Yes, I believe they messaged me and they said, why are you telling them it's 40%? It's 50%. I don't know which one it is. Either 40 or 50% off. Use code alpha at checkout. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. That intro skit was a little bit more for me than it was for you. So if you liked it, please do me a favor and hit the like button down below. Help us out in the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you. Every once in a while, there is a conversation about me on Twitter and about how I am preying on the vast number of people who desperately want to make Twitch their career, and how I know that most of them will never make it. But as long as I say things that give them hope, I know they will continue to watch my videos and I will continue to make money off of them. And then they tag me in the conversation. Twitter's really weird. I won't deny that there are people that are born with the natural skills it takes to be a content creator. You've seen them, people who look like they don't even have to try. They just act like themselves in front of the camera and viewers just flock to them. And I can assume that if you're watching this video, that's probably not you. And being completely candid, that's not me either. But even for those people who are born naturals, there is a crazy amount of work that has to go on behind the scenes, which makes you ask, if they have to work that hard, how much of a chance do people like you and I actually have? Some, by the way. The answer to that question is a definite some. Guys, I've been doing this for a lot longer than most of you have been following me, and I've tried a gazillion, that's a real number by the way, gazillion amounts of different kinds of content. From guitar videos with animations, to daily vlogs, to gaming challenges, to Snapchat art full-time. Guys, I have literally brute forced my content creation career into existence. And I've learned some things along the way. I've learned the things that I consider important in order to create a content career. And I've boiled that down to 5 specific things that I try to improve on every single day. Some of these things I've become moderately okay at, which I consider a win because it's a huge improvement of who I used to be. One in particular, not so much. I'm still on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give myself a 1. And you know what, if you're feeling spicy, feel free to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 across all 5 of these things. You don't have to leave it in a comment down below if you don't feel like it, but just write it down somewhere. You know, analyze yourself, see what you need to improve on. So let's just jump right into it. My 5 attributes that I consider the most important to becoming a content creator. Number 1, researcher and Professor Carol Dweck has spoken a lot on what she calls the growth mindset. This is basically the understanding that your talents aren't fixed and that you are actively going out, seeking new skills and improving yourself every single day. I see so many new content creators just put themselves in front of a camera and hope that it's what people want to see. A content career requires people to be so interested in you that they essentially neglect their own life, opting to watch yours instead. What value have you developed in your life that allows you to live a life so extraordinary that it deserves this kind of attention? I had a moment about 5 years ago where I realized I'd failed myself here and it came back to bite me. At the time, I was heavily focused on vlogging and Snapchatting, and I had found an interest in learning to speak Japanese. I had purchased Rosetta Stone. I had kind of frivolously started doing some of the lessons. I knew it would be an advantage for me in the gaming industry if I could speak Japanese, but I didn't really take it that seriously. That year at E3, a fellow Snapchatter and a friend of mine, Sean McBride, who some of you might know as Sean Durez, was invited to interview Shigeru Miyamoto. I was fortunate enough to be invited to try out Breath of the Wild right before it was released, but after I tried it out, I checked Snapchat, I saw that he had done that interview with a translator, by the way. And I was so mad at myself that I hadn't given a full effort to learning this new skill that I wanted to learn for business, because I knew that if I had really pursued it and become at least conversational in the language, they absolutely would have asked me to do that. So after being so upset that I'd let myself down, I decided to get a private tutor. And for the last couple of years, I've actually had private tutoring lessons on Japanese once a week. I'm still not great at it, but I'm getting better. With this particular attribute, it's something that I've always given a high priority to. I've always tried to reach out and learn a bunch of new things. I'd maybe give myself a 7 on it. Number 2, the age-old networking. I'm gonna be real with you. This is the one I'm very, very bad at. Gonna give myself a 1 here. Look, if you're like me, you can probably relate to this. I have some pretty serious social anxiety that comes from a very bad social life in high school. Anytime I try to reach out to collaborate with someone, I feel like they're sitting at the other end of the invitation thinking, oh, this guy Harris just wants to use me for my viewers. So I compensate by avoiding networking like the plague and instead keeping my head down and focusing on my work that I'm in control of. It's not the best compensation technique, but it's also not the worst. There is so much potential in networking. Anybody can see that collaborations between large creators do an amazing job of cross-pollinating audiences. But if I were to give any networking advice based on the couple successful collaborations that I've done, I would say first, put your head down and provide value within yourself so that when you reach out to other collaborators, you have value to provide to them. For example, when we collaborated with Fuslie on the Stream Beats single, we provided value to her by providing an opportunity for her to sing in a really cool song. And then of course she was on the song, which provided exposure for that track. Or one of my favorites that I did with now one of my favorite people, the interview I did with Code Miko, I provided value by bringing an extra business perspective that maybe she didn't have from interviewing someone else, and then I got to be in front of her massive audience. Maybe it comes a little bit from my insecurity, but make sure you're not asking other people to lift you up. Make sure you're doing your best to lift others who also have the potential to lift you. Okay, number 3, work ethic. I know that my work ethic is pretty good now, but I'm gonna be real with you. When I started this journey, I had my bad moments. I'm so proud of us. Quitting school and our jobs to become YouTubers. Really taking the leap.
Yeah.
Not my proudest moment. It is a little difficult going from being a full-time employee to being self-employed. But after that adjustment period where I failed myself for months on end, I've kicked myself into gear, and I would say I give myself a 6 or a 7 on this scale at the moment. You have to accept and get used to the fact that you are now the lifeblood of your own success. And every moment you are not working, someone else is and is passing you. But another aspect of work ethic that a lot of people miss is patience. Too often I get someone coming into my chat while I'm live, which by the way, I stream on YouTube now. I left Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Feel free to jump in. But anyway, I get someone who jumps into my stream and says, hey, I've been doing everything you recommended. It's not working. And then later, when I'm not live, I don't want to call anyone out publicly, but when I'm not live, I'll check out their channel and they will have 7 videos posted and they're not very good. Sorry, they're not very good yet. Everybody starts there. It's the creators that are willing to continue building their work ethic and working hard, even though they're making videos for 0 viewers, sometimes for years. Those are the ones that succeed. Number 4, you ready to be bummed out? Social skills. Guys, social skills are just that. They are skills. You can develop skills, and you will develop your social skills the more you not only create content, but the more you edit your content. Watching the way you present yourself in front of the camera over and over and over, and then also going and watching your favorite creators and seeing how they present themselves in front of the camera is a huge exercise in building your camera presence. This particular advice comes from serious experience. My early content was just wait a while. You're not the big fish in the... Being able to captivate an audience, whether it's from being super loud and charismatic or just being super interesting and presenting that interest well, it's a very powerful skill, and I recommend you work on it. And number 1, which I would consider not only the most crucial, but also one of the most difficult ones to improve on, is self-awareness. I genuinely think this is the one that keeps most people from being full-time content creators. I left it last for 2 reasons. First is that it applies to all 4 attributes before this. In order to know which ones you need to improve on, you need to know which ones you're not great at. Chances are if you gave yourself a 10 on any of those previous ones, you're probably closer to a 1. If any of you are offended by that, I highly recommend you look up the Dunning-Kruger effect. And I can say that because I've been there early on in my content career when I was making videos every single day and I was working a full-time job and I was killing myself and finding 0 success. I would turn to Kenzie and I would say, man, I am just so unlucky. Every day. Looking back, in hindsight and with what I've learned now, I can rightfully say my content just wasn't that good yet. But the second reason I left this one for last is because I genuinely believe it is the most important one on the list. Your job as a content creator is to make content that people enjoy. And you can't do that unless you can view your content, your videos, your live streams, your titles, your thumbnails from the perspective of someone who has no idea who you are. Is your title and thumbnail intriguing enough to get someone who doesn't know who you are to click on it? Is your content so good that they will watch it all the way through to the end? Are you captivating enough as a person that they will subscribe to your channel and even follow you on all of your other socials? If you're not self-aware enough to recognize where you fall short, it is physically impossible to improve. Now, I also believe that this is a skill that you can learn. However, it is one of the most difficult ones to learn because if you lack self-awareness, you are not aware that you lack self-awareness. You know, I find that it's best to just assume that you're at a 1 because you really can't know how self-aware you really are. Anyway, for those of you who have been around for a while, genuine question. How did I do ranking myself from your perspective? Also, how did you rank yourself? You can leave a comment or not. This doesn't have to be public, but if you want to come in and talk about it, maybe in the next stream, again, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday on YouTube, a link to that in the description down below. I spent a lot of time debating how I wanted to present this topic because it's very important to me and it's very important that I shared it with you. So I really do hope this helped. And as always, happy streaming.
If you ever need a VTuber, I'll still work for you. Everybody has a price. Huh?
Come on, Miko, have a backbone.